x-intercept form, we go about this, well, first of all, it's called intercept form because we have our x-intercepts when we look at the equation. Um, and we go about this in kind of a different order than what we're used to doing. Usually we find our vertex first and then go from there. So this time we are going to find our x-intercepts because we're looking at the numbers right now. So we have one x-intercept in there, we have one x-intercept in there. What we have to remember though is those are in the parentheses with the x, so they are tricky. They're always going to be tricky all year long. So it looks like a -1, we change it to a +1, and then the y, oops, go away. Whoa! The y is 0. Just erase that line. Because it's an x-intercept. And then our other x-intercept is over here. It's a +3, so we change the sign to a -3, and the y is 0 because we are on the x-axis. So we have the point 1, 0 and -3, 0. So the next thing that we can do is, because our graphs are symmetrical, we can draw in our axis of symmetry. It's going to be halfway between the 2 points that we see. So I know it's going to be right down this line. And what is the equation of that line? Well, it's always x equals, because it's vertical. And then what's the number? X equals -1. And then what we can remember is that whatever, our number is right here for our axis of symmetry, that is always the x value of our vertex. So right now we have half of our vertex. We know that x is a -1, so let's just figure out what the y value is. So I'm going to just, oops, not do that. Here we go. Just move all of this down. Oh, it didn't grab those. Well, we can redraw those in. Of course. Let's see. Nope. So we'll redraw in. We had a +1 and a -3. Okay, so we know that our x is a -1 of our vertex, so to get the y value, let's just plug in a -1 for x and see what we get. So y equals 2 times -1 minus 1 times -1 plus 3, and we're just going to simplify this to see what we get. So 2 times -1 minus 1 is a -2, -1 plus 3 is a +2. So we have 2 times -2, which is -4, times 2, which is a -8. So our y value is a -8. So we can plot that. -1 down 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 is actually one spot off my graph right there. But that's okay. Now our y-intercept, just to get us another point on our graph, we find by plugging in 0 for x, so the y will be equal to 2 times 0 minus 1 times 0 plus 3. So 0 minus 1, -1, 0 plus 3 is 3. So 2 times -1 is -2 times 3, which is a -6. So we put in a 0 for x and we got -6 back for y. So 0, -6 puts us right there. So we have our graph right there. Are we opening up or down? Well, what we want to do is look at our a value. Because it's positive, I know that we're going to open up, and let's just make sure that that makes sense with our graph. Our vertex is down here. The entire graph is above it, so we're opening up. Everything is matching up so far. And then our pattern of change, we take our a value, which is a +2. We're going to multiply that by 1, 3, and 5. So 2 times 1, 2 times 3, and 2 times 5. And we get a pattern of 2, 6, and 10. So from our vertex, we go up 2 over 1, and that puts us right there. Up 6 over 1, which puts us there, and then up 10 over 1, which is actually off the graph. Now, we have symmetrical graphs, so we're just going to mirror this on the other side. We'll go up 2 to the left 1, up 6 to the left 1. There's our other x-intercept. So now we can go ahead and draw our parabola. So we draw our parabola through this point, through this point. Now, the other point I have to go up 10 and then over 1. Here's one thing I see a lot of is students kind of just head off with their graph like this. But what we want to keep in mind is that actually when we go up 10 over 1, we're not crossing this line right here, which is over 1, until we're 10 above our last point. So right now we'd be saying, oh, we went up 6 and then over 1, but it has to be up 10 over 1. So you do want to be really careful that you're not, crossing that point or that spot of just over 1. So when we graph this, we're just going to be going up, and notice I didn't cross over that spot. And then if we can get our left side, we're just going up like that. So there is our graph from Intercept form.